Newly released data from the Federal Reserve shows inflation is finally letting up in some areas, but not for a critical part of our society, keeping families afloat. Daycare and preschool costs are seeing a nearly 7% year-over-year increase. Local parents are really feeling the pressure as they contemplate leaving the workforce to save money.
Yeah, ABC Action News reporter Lydia Vasquez tonight going in depth, speaking with local families who tell us they're paying more for their child care than they do for their mortgage.
I love you.
I love you.
Do I pick a job or do I pick a daycare?
That's the question Mickaela Gonzalez is left with as childcare costs continue to exceed what many families can pay.
So if daycare is going to cost me $2,000 to $2,500 a month, I have to incorporate groceries. I have to incorporate my mortgage. I have to incorporate lights, gas, to and from doctor's appointments. What is the point in working?
Gonzalez says she pays more for childcare for her 4 kids each month than her mortgage, but she has to work to pay for other bills, and she's not the exception. Daycare and preschool costs are charging some of the highest rates ever, with nearly a 7% year-over-year increase.
It's sad, but I need to pay my mortgage, so I need my kids in school. So it's like I kind of have to take the loss of higher daycare costs.
And parents aren't the only ones taking a hit. While childcare costs skyrocket, some local centers say they're stretched thin too.
We've had families who've had to leave us. They're leaving them with grandma. We've had quite a few students who I wish we could have kept, who now are just kind of at home.
Tony Boyd is the director of Project Preschool, serving lower to middle income families in East Tampa.
That means I can't charge $200, $225, $250, whatever the average rate is for a toddler, because my family's not going to be able to pay that.
Boyd battles staying afloat, adding for more than 40 years, the center has cared for children and families experiencing hardships and trauma.
Some, this is the only place they get structure.
0 plus 100 is equal to what, Kyrie?
Some, this is the only place they get regular and good meals. For some, this is the safest place they are during the day.
Boyd says inflation means spending $300 to $400 more on food a week. She says she feels left out of the conversation when it comes to getting assistance.
When they talk about funding in general and educational funding, it's not for us. That's not funding that goes to preschools. That's usually for elementary and secondary schools.
For Gonzalez, rising costs with no sign of letting up means less family time.
Right now I'm actually working 3 jobs. One is full-time and the other 2 are like side businesses, so I can maintain. So it gets frustrating because then I feel like I'm missing time with my kids.
Childcare leaders say they're constantly looking for solutions as the cost to care for our youngest community members climb. In Tampa, Lydia Vasquez, ABC Action News.
So what are local leaders saying about this? Well, Lydia did reach out for comment from Mayor Jane Castor in Tampa, and she responded today telling us that the money from the child tax credit in the American Rescue Plan provided assistance for local families, and that Congress, she says, now needs to renew it. Wendy?
Yeah, meanwhile, Paul, I wanted to look into this more, and during my research, I found something called a child care desert. According to the Center for American Progress, this is where there are at least 3 times as many children as there are licensed child care slots. 51% of Americans live in a child care desert. Meanwhile, nearly 40% of Floridians live in one. It's mostly in rural communities. So just a few hours ago, I spoke with Lindsay Carson from the Early Learning Coalition of Pinellas County, and she talked about how her organization can help parents in need.
Any family can call our child care resource and referral line for assistance in finding child care, regardless of income, but also assistance in paying for child care through our school readiness program. And that's a sliding scale based upon eligibility.
Carson also told me they don't have enough staff for all the children in need, so they're actively recruiting, and there's free training and ways to earn a free degree. If you're interested in an early learning job or need financial help paying for childcare, go to the Early Learning Coalition's website. That's elcpinellas.org.